Pisces.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro scope and Tarot scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.
Hello Pisces, this is your forecast for March 2014, and happy birthday Pisces. This is going to be a wonderful month, not only because it is your birthday month, which always make you radiate a little bit more than normal and usual, and that is because the sun now is filtering through that first house, and it is what you're projecting out there on your rising sign. And so this is how people are going to be picking up on you. But it's going to be a brilliant month for you for many reasons, and it's also because your ancient ruler Jupiter is going to be moving forward on March 6th, and this is going to really rev up those engines that might have been a little bit slow here over the last 3 to 4 or 5 months when Jupiter has been going retrograde. And the area Jupiter has been retrograding is the 5th house for creativity, self-expression, leisure, your children. And so it's giving you some time to kind of go back over and reevaluate what are you really doing, and what is it you're really truly wanting to express? Which area is it that you're wanting to expand? And I think Jupiter has given you a lot of ample time over these last few months to really figure it out, to work out the details, become more clear upon how this area can expand and behoove you for the next 12 years. We're not talking the next 12 months, that too, but it only comes to this area once every 12 years, Pisces, and we know that you are such a creative spirit, and having your ancient ruler in this area, well, wow, you know, it's like a dream time coming true. Jupiter now moving forward from the 6th and connecting, or should I say reconnecting, with that beautiful golden trine we had there in July, August of last year, when Jupiter and Neptune were trine, also with Saturn wanting to bring it in and give it more body. Well, I think whatever that was that you were planning is what is going to start now revving up and moving forward again. So from the 6th, it takes a little time, just because Jupiter is such a big body, and when it's been moving backwards, as it stops to move forward again, it takes a little time for traction to pick up. But then you'll see that it's going to be moving very quickly next month, that we'll be speaking more about. But make sure that while she's here, and you will be having her here till summer, is to, when you want to wrap up, finish all the things that you want to do in this area. And it also rules the area of leisure, hobbies, those things that you love to do when you take some time off. And frankly, there's been a lot of Piscean people out there not really feeling like they want to work too much right now. Why? Because it's so convenient, it's so comfortable when Jupiter is in this area. You just want to kind of lay back and rest up and have fun, you know. And some of you are such hard workers that yeah, you do need to rest a little bit. But however, you don't want to lose the train, because this train, like I said, once every 12 years. So we have that going on the 6th, Jupiter moving direct. Then we have another couple of things happening here this month for you. March 1st, not only do we have the new moon happening, which we do, and for you Pisces, it's going to be in the 1st house. So not only are you radiant right now, but you have the power of the new moon now to spark and enlighten this area for you, which only you have once a year, just like when your sun comes around once a year, to actually make the most out of. When you put your intentions in for this month, is to say, I would love to take this radiance and use it, you know, and know how to tap into exactly how that feels, so I can use that throughout the rest of the next 12 months, right? And we do that once we learn how to hone a certain energy. We can go in and pick up that file and then put it in, right? So we got that. But then also here, March 1st, we have Mars is going to do a flip on us. Now, yes, we have a long extended transit of Mars which normally takes 6 weeks. This time here, Mars is moving through Libra for 8 months, nearly 8 months. So it's a long haul cycle. For you, it's in the 8th house. And when it goes retrograde now, it will remain retrograde to May 20th in the 8th house, looking back over joint finances. How can you co-work with somebody to create more finances? Maybe there's a joint venture coming in. Maybe there's something, offers coming in for royalties and commissions. And yeah, it's not like Mercury retrograde where you don't want to sign any contracts, because Mercury rules contracts and the written verbal word. We always do like to have our planets moving direct when we start something new, just so that the area, the energy can pick up and move forward. But if this is in relation to something you've already started, put it that way, then the retrograde will help now to look at what you've put into place, and you'll be watching how you can tweak this area. How can you make more revenue? It's the 8th house. How can you expand this? Maybe partner up with somebody, or maybe somebody's going to want to come and partner up with you. You know, so that's up to you and your evaluation and what you feel is good or right. We have Saturn also going retrograde the very next day. That's March 2nd. So what does Saturn do when it retrogrades? Well, first and foremost for you, Saturn has been working now in your 9th house for higher education, higher understanding, doing all the research, and whatever you've been doing in order to be putting yourself out there into the world, because the 9th house is the house of Sagittarius. It's the house of Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything. And so it's all your skill sets and talents now that Saturn's been working for several months now. We can go back 5-6 months here. You've been working on creating a certain format that structurally will be able to hold, not just now, but for the next 28 years, okay? Because maybe 29. This is the time it takes for Saturn to go around the scope once. So it's only in this area here for now, and I see how how Saturn is inspiring you to do something solid. And this is why, you know, your focus is so direct. So when it goes retrograde now, it's going to give you a little break as things are now lifting and rising and coming out to the world, which is the 9th house, and especially because it's also tying into the 11th house, which is social networks, right? It is groups and organizations and friends, new friends and all that. So as Saturn is now retrograding, it's going to be adjusting. And you'll see all the way to July 20th what works, you know, and you'll save everything that works, and you'll go, yes, check mark, check mark, check mark. Whatever works, you're going to keep. But then it's also going to have you be a little bit more honed in on those things that may not have been too good, that you can improve. And remember though, Saturn is always about mastery. So you might be mastering some skill or some piece of the whole that can actually fit a little bit better. So once you get to July 20th and Saturn moves forward again, still in that area of the 9th house, it should be up and running and empowered to actually now start gathering up everything you've worked on here for the last year and a half. And this would be by the end of this year, it's going to gather it all up and move into your 10th house of career. And only then will you see exactly what you have worked for. And I'd like to say it's the laurel wreath, you know, that you will be receiving at that time for what you have worked for. Not just, you know, the Saturn cycle in the 9th, but what you've been working for the last 28, 29 years. So it's your career coming to a crest, to a peak here at the end of the year, coming into 2015. So make sure that you make the most, that your eyes are open and you're sharply aware of how to actually do the best you can do right now, because it's going to have long-lasting effect on it, and you won't be sorry. So that's the retrogrades that we're having. Let's go into what is taking place here now, here in March. And we're starting off March 1st, the new moon, as we mentioned. You know, do your intentions. And then we also have Mars going retrograde here, March 1st. March 2nd, we got Saturn going retrograde. And then we also have a little Mars-Venus square, so there might be a little communication here on this day that might need to be a little, balanced up. There might be something not sitting too well. But I see it passing. It's not really going to be too long lasting of a transit. We have on the 3rd, we got the Sun and Pluto. Now the Sun is you, and Pluto is what is transforming in your life. And when we look at your solar scope, you are transforming, you, because the Sun is in the 1st house, and it is being sextiled by Pluto, here now in the area of hopes, dreams, wishes, but also in the area of social networks. It's the world at large taking place, and groups. And Pluto here now is radiating how you're projecting yourself out into the world as the Sun is in that 1st house, which is, rising. It's your rising sign right now. So this should be really good. You will feel the effects or see the effects here on March 3rd. On the 5th, we got Venus now moving. It's moving out of this area where it's been for a prolonged time. It's been retrograding there, so it's had a long journey in Capricorn, which is your 11th house, for friendships. And also groups. You might have used more energy here since December, but now it's moving out of your 11th house into the 12th. And for you, Pisces, well, I think Venus just loves that area. Why? Because the 12th house is the house that you rule. So it's a natural place for you to, at times, just pull in, because you're ruled by the ocean, right? So we got ebb and flow. So sometimes for you to find this beautiful, magical flow, you have to pull within and be quiet, to be still. The 11th house is all like out there. It's electric. Things happening all the time. And when there's so much communication around you, you don't really find time to listen to yourself. And it's when you're listening within, you find the deepest creativity of all time. So this Venus here, I think you're going to love it, so enjoy it for as long as that lasts. You're going to have it here all March. But then we also have on the 11th, there is Mercury and Saturn. There's a square, so something about paper, documents, something, or an agreement might be spoken about, but maybe also negotiated, because when we have squares, it's not like the flow where everything just falls, on the table. Easy set. It's more like, okay, now you got to think and make some decisions, right? And Mars is retrograde, so Mars isn't giving you a lot of help, but thank God Mercury is now direct here in March, so you'll have that for a day or two. On the 13th, I think you're going to be quite happy with whatever you decided, because it's still Saturn involved, but not with Mercury. It is the Sun coming in, trining it. Okay, and the Sun is you, and the agreement here, that's Saturn. And so you've had a couple of days. So if you have to make a decision on the 11th, try to extend it to the 13th. You'll be at one with yourself. You won't have that dual mind, right? And on the 14th, even better. Then I see there's some talks where Mercury now is aligned with Mars. So I see you taking action and with conviction, okay? So never make any major agreements as long as there's doubts. Remember, doubt is your friend. That's that little voice speaking to you. Listen to that little voice. Now on the 17th here, Pisces, you will have Mercury moving into your sign, okay? And so that is coming out of the 12th house. It's where it's been now and doing the retrograde all through February. But here on the 17th, it's coming out into the light. You are very direct. You're forward. I see you being quite energetic and quite chatty too. Okay, so it's like whatever you've been processing, in this inner chamber of yours, that 12th house, the process is going to come out. You will be speaking of it, others will be speaking of it, and there you have it. It's going to be a creative time, especially as Mercury now is going to be joining up with the Sun. It's going to be joining up with Neptune, your ruler, there. So you will see that this whole month of March is going to be spectacular for you, okay? You're going to be radiant, you're going to be shining. And then on the 18th, Venus, which is love, and Uranus, which is the unexpected, coming together and doing a really nice interaction here. And for you, Venus, then here in your, let me find it right here in your 12th house, and Uranus in the 2nd house, I think you're looking at some unexpected news about either, it could be two things, because Venus can be money, but it can be love. So for some of you, you might get an unexpected message of love that will boost your self-esteem, because the 2nd house where Uranus is all about self-esteem and values. And when Venus comes into this, well, that's just going to lift your spirit. And for others, it might just be that there's unexpected news of some money that you might have been sensing is in the works of coming, but has been delayed. It's been hanging out there, but it is now coming in. So news of it. News of it. Then we have the 22nd here, Pisces. Mercury and Neptune, like I said, they will be joining up here in the 1st house. This is the day it's going to happen. You might have a very spiritual experience, you know, one of those little miracles taking place that you Pisces know all about. Or it could also just be very inspired text or communication that you will be having and sharing and giving out. 26th, Mercury and Jupiter, another day to have receiving good news. Jupiter in your 5th house, so it might have to do with a project that you've been working on and communicating about it, initiating perhaps. Now, Mercury is direct, Jupiter is also direct from the 6th, so you're good to go. You got green light, Pisces, to bring out something that you believe in. That could be very artsy too, perhaps, but it's definitely something that can bring an expansion, not just for you personally to yourself, which it will, because you know the sun is still here with us in Pisces, but it's Mercury now communicating this out. Okay, so it's more you shining here. And then we have Venus and Saturn at the very end of the month. That is something now coming together that has a body shape and form. Saturn loves to concretize things, bring it into a form that is material, solid, safe, giving it roots. And Venus then, of course, having to do with love, romance, and also, once again, the financial. So you have like a lot of financial things going on here this month. And but which I see that it's you harvesting. You're harvesting from past work done, okay? Coming in, plus the initiation of and the beginning of new projects coming for you. And some of you might even just also find some new love here as this month opens up here after the 1st week of March. You might see how this is going to be expanding straight through summer, you know, and into August. The full moon on the 16th, Pisces, for you is going to be in the 7th house. That has to do with love and relationships and that committed type love and feeling that we have and that we radiate and give to our partner, whether that's our significant other, our spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, or who we work with, one-on-one. And in this, it's going to be illuminated like the full moon does in the sign of Virgo. So, you know, having Virgo there, you're going to be thinking and analyzing what this really means for not just you, but also for your partner in this interaction. So Pisces, there we have it. This is what we have for March of 2014. We go in a little deeper on these dailies and to expand a little bit more and not rushing through the calendar as we are here. So I would love to see you there, and I will also see you next month. Bye now.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro Scope and Tarot Scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.